let's transition there from those two fine gentlemen and talk to you. I appreciate you doing this, and sorry about the technical difficulties at the top. When did you find out about this?
I found out. I found out about it.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. You found out via TMZ. No one from USADA, no one from the California State Athletic Commission, no one from the UFC called you.
No, nobody called me at all. I got a phone call from a couple of saying, hey, you know anything about the drug test? And I said, we're talking about the TMZ response. That we have a drug test. I could turn around and look and check for the email, because usually they send us an email notifying us of the thing. The email got sent that same moment that she called me, and then it was already all over the place. So that's how I found out about it.
How do you feel about that?
Disappointed. I mean, I'm very disappointed in the idea that, instead of us at least getting a heads up and being able to know what's coming and have an idea to, just at least to wrap our heads around it and get some information out to the public. So obviously we can put our part. We were completely blindsided by it.
Have you talked to Jon Jones?
I have. I did. I just was on the phone with him a few hours ago.
How is he reacting to this?
He's devastated. He's devastated and he's hurt. I mean, it's amazing that you can go from being the very top of the mountain, doing everything you can possibly do to gain the respect and admiration of everyone involved. Fans, family members, the people at the UFC, you know what I mean? Just everybody, teammates, other fighters. And then for you to go from there, everything he's been through, to finally do everything perfect, right? Because the last time he was being negligent, right? This time he was being perfect and double checking everything to still have something like this happen to him. It's unbelievable, it's unreal, and we're all pretty much shocked. We're all shocked and devastated.
Does he have any kind of idea as to how this happened? Last time, we talked about the tainted pill, and USADA agreed with that and gave him the suspension because they said he was reckless, not because he was cheating, so to speak, right?
Correct. And I think that that this time we've double checked everything, done everything we had to do. And I can almost bet my life on it that this is another tainted supplement, some that he hasn't tasted that tainted substance. I mean, Ariel, you got to just take a look at the testing and how this thing went down. Jon passed two tests, July 7th and July 8th, or 6th and 7th, something to that effect.
Yeah, 6th and 7th.
7th, right? The 7th was the urine test that would have tested for the stuff. And in passing those two tests, they test for all of that stuff that he failed for. So therefore, you're talking about from the day he passed that test until the day before the fight, he would have had to have ingested something that would have caused this test to come out positive. The problem that we're having with that is that he passes all the random tests, but then the one test that we know about, the one that we for sure know about, is the one that we fail. So something here doesn't click. It's not sitting right. I'm assuming it's the supplements he took. We just obviously got to get to work on it and see, what was taken that month, those 3 week period, that week of the fight, and figure it out from there.
You are going to test the B sample, right?
I'm definitely going to test the B sample, and then what I'm also doing is I'm sending out an expert as well to make sure that the handling of the B sample and everything like that is done properly.
Do you believe, we just had a couple guests on prior, and they think that there's a conspiracy to get Jon Jones. Do you believe that there's a conspiracy to get Jon Jones?
Ariel, at this moment, I'm not with those theories and, this happened or that happened or, at this moment, what I'm saying to you is that anything is possible, okay? I'm not going to rule out anything that has to do with this test, this sample, or this thing. All I know is that my common sense tells me that the way this works is that they have an A sample that came back with the thing. We're going to test the B sample. I'm going to have an expert there witnessing the thing, make sure that this is being done correctly. And then we're going to go down the process. If the B sample comes back positive, then we'll go through the supplements and obviously go down the line until we figure out where this came from. I want to state that Jon, us as a team, first round management, Jackson, Winklejohn, the whole entire group, not one of us know where this stuff came from. We all know Jon doesn't cheat. We all know that Jon doesn't use steroids, and I want to state that loud and clear so that everybody out there in this world knows that we're 1,000% denying any allegations of steroid use.
As of right now, maximum would be 4 years, correct? If they found him guilty, if they deem that he's guilty, correct?
Correct.
Worst case, or best case, I should say, just a public warning, correct?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
the range. Either way, can he rebound from this? Do you believe he can rebound from this? Because already, as you know, I'm sure you've gone on social media, people are calling him a cheater. He's done. He ruined everything. You know how it is. Guilty until proven innocent.
Listen, you know what? Again, here's the thing. We've come back from so much already, Ariel. Why would I sit here and tell you something different? Absolutely, we're going to come back from this. If we can find the source of this substance, okay? Mm-hmm. And it is definitely, again, another situation where because this time there's no negligence. We've turned everything in. We've done what we're supposed to do, that I'm aware of, that I know of. My brother stayed on top of this thing the whole time. I know the coaches, everything that was being done to Jon, given to Jon, any advice. Jon was calling us. You know, Jon was talking to us. He was communicating with us. And we were doing our job to make sure that everything was cleared by you saw it on the whole 9 yards. And so there's a lot of things that, you know, that obviously go down between the time, you know, you get to a fight week and the end of the fight and all that other stuff. And there's stuff that, you know, happens before. So I just got to get through all of that stuff and figure it all out. Once I do that, I'm confident that we'll be able to vindicate Jon Jones again. Because the reality of it is, and this is the thing, you know, everybody texted me today. The whole world called me, oh my God, I'm so sorry for you. Time for you to drop him. This guy's this and this guy's that. And the reality of it is that I told every single person that called me today, I'm doing perfectly fine. Just like when you text me, I'm perfectly fine. I know this man doesn't cheat. If he was cheating, then I would be worried. I'd be more concerned because then I would know that there's you know, a reason to be afraid. But we know deep in our hearts that Jon Jones didn't do anything wrong here, or at least knowingly do anything wrong. So I just have to get to the bottom of it. And once we do that, we'll be fine. So to me, if the fans don't understand it, I can't help them. I mean, this is like my third client that, you know, it's him, Yoel, and my other client had the same thing happen. It was tainted supplements. We proved it every single time. This is the second time for Jon. So does he come back from it? I think he does. You know what I mean? Is it an easy task? I don't think so. Do people probably don't believe in him? Yeah, probably. I mean, and you know, look, it's tough. I get it. But I know Jon better than anybody, and I'm telling you, this man does not cheat. He has no reason to.
What's the state of his title right now? Is he still the champion?
He's still the champion, and I think from what I understand, they're going to allow the due process to happen on this thing first before they make any decisions as far as the belt's concerned.
And how is the UFC handling this, in your opinion, towards you? Are they being open? Are they answering your calls? Are you in contact with them? What's the experience been like this time with them?
No, it's been the same. I mean, at the end of the day, they, you know, look, again, I'm encouraging everyone to go out there and take a look at the test he passed and the test he failed. It's a 3-week window, the month of the fight. Jon has passed 7 unannounced tests, and the one that he's going to fail is the one that's announced. You know, it's weird to me, Ariel. Like, there's a lot of things here that don't add up, and to the UFC, it doesn't add up. I've spoken to Jeff Nowitzki, we've spoken to Donna. You know what I mean? I've spoken to Hunter. I've spoken to everyone that would, you know, I've spoken to Ari Emanuel numerous times today alone. Jon's spoken to Ari Emanuel. So I mean, there's people that are actively involved in helping us figure out this stuff and see where, you know, they can also help in other things. But you know, when you look at it, nobody's going to help you if you're cheating. I'm not going to help him if he's cheating. I don't care, you know, what it is. People don't understand. I put my face out there because I know my clients. I'm not sitting here doing this because, you know, it's my job. Sometimes the money's just not worth it. You understand? So I try to tell people, you know what I mean, that this guy is not cheating. That's why I'm put my face out front. I'm defending him. I'm standing by him. And if people don't like it, too bad. The whole team is. But with that being said, at the same time, you know, the UFC knows. They looked at his test on the 6th and the 7th. Or the 6th and the 7th, and he passed both of those. There was nothing in his system. So for him to start doing steroids, including especially the steroid they're saying he took, he would have had to been doing that steroid for a while for it to actually do anything. So he just took it to take it. I mean, it's to me, there's just a lot of, you know, there's a lot of issues with all this. That's why I just wish that they would, you know, if you're asking me how they've been towards me, and which is what you've asked, they've been great. I haven't had a problem with them. They've been helping. But if you're asking me in another way, which you're not, but I'm going to say it anyway, that I wish they would change the way they released information, absolutely. Because I think that if the B sample comes back negative, then this man just got crushed again for no reason. And this dude is a good dude, man. It just doesn't deserve this.
How long will it take for you to find out the results of the B sample?
Well, I got to make arrangements. The expert has to fly out there. I don't have, you know what I mean, a timetable for when it'll be open, but we'll get that done, hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, where it'll get opened, looked at, you know, examined the whole 9, and you know, we'll figure it out and go from there.
Have you asked the UFC why they come out with it when he's just provisionally suspended, as opposed to waiting for the entire process to play out so that you are not labeled a cheater, you're not labeled guilty until proven innocent?
Yeah, I actually was screaming and yelling at them about that when it came to Yoel Romero. the first time it happened, and their response to me was just transparency. They didn't want to not release the information. But I've had enough of it, to be honest with you, Ariel. This is something that personally I'm going to start working towards, which is getting these fighters to start understanding that there's some rights that they need to have. And until it happens to you, it's F Jon Jones and this and that, and F Yoel Romero and every other guy that goes through this. And then when you figure out, hey, USADA cleanly said it. We know he's not cheating. You know what I mean? But he was negligent. People don't want to hear that. When they said Yoel Romero, was not cheating, and his whole punishment was that he didn't, write this on a doping form, which most of my clients now do, but before at that time didn't. You know what I mean? They gave him a harsh punishment. So I have a problem with the program being, punishing people that are not cheating, as opposed to, the people that are cheating. Like when somebody's not cheating. For example, in Jon's case, when the tribunal came and said he's not cheating, his punishment was the same as if he was cheating, so it didn't matter. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the issue I have with this whole USADA stuff. Why do you guys let this information out? Why can't we just keep it under wraps and wait until we get the B sample cleared? Why can't we wait until we go through a process if we choose to go through a process? Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's less. So for me, I try to expedite this as fast as I can so that, my clients obviously can get back to their, normal routines and fight. And for whatever reason, they just said that from a transparency standpoint, they just want to do it this way.
TMZ came out and put out what the substance was, turinabol. Can you confirm that? Is that it?
That's from what I understand it is turinabol.
Okay. And why do you believe Jon? Like, for those that say, well, Malki, once, twice, why do you believe Jon? Why do you believe that he didn't do anything, knowingly, that he didn't cheat knowingly?
Because Jon has never lied to me. And because in every single situation Jon has ever been in, Jon's always told me the truth. Nothing that Jon has ever told me have I ever come back to him and said, hey, man, you're lying about this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when a guy that I know for a fact, for all the hard work that I've watched him do, but when I watch this man go through the motions of calling and saying, hey, I'm taking this. Let me send you the label. Let me make sure this is okay. Hey, can I get more of this supplement? And just go through the system the way it's supposed to. When you watch a man mature, the way he's matured, when you watch a guy work so hard to win everybody back, my question to you is, why would he? Why would he? What do you, if you look at it on oral turinabol, what do you get out of potentially using oral turinabol for 3 weeks, from the 7th, or let's call it the 8th, until the 28th? What do you get out of that? There's absolutely almost zero benefit for him doing this. So, I mean, in all honesty, Ariel, it doesn't make sense. And anybody who understands that system of doping or taking steroids or in the system, out of your body, whatever, it just makes no sense. You have to be on a cycle for a while for it to really start to show results. So he's clean all the other time, the rest of the year, and then those 3 weeks he decides to do this. It's not Jon Jones. Listen, I know everybody has said before, he's reckless, he's this. You say whatever you want about him. The man's not stupid, okay? And he was not being reckless for this fight. So I believe him because he's never lied to me. And I have every reason in the world to believe him.
Just a couple more things, Malki. A lot has happened to Jon over the last 2 years, ups and downs. Do you have any concerns right now about his well-being, about like how he's handling this? Are you going to go see him? I mean, just mentally to come back and then do what he did 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. I'm very concerned about him, man. It's he's got, listen, everybody in this world has problems that we don't know about. This is a problem that we know about, right? And it's just hit the thing. And one thing about Jon, he's always done with me and everyone, is he puts up this front like everything's perfectly fine, when deep down inside, I know sometimes he's not. You know what I mean? So I do worry about him. Absolutely, we're going to go out. My brother was just with him yesterday. So, he left before the news hit, but we were up there for a photo shoot. And, we're going to be on our way back up there probably next week. His brother's going up there. You have to think that something's wrong. I mean, Jon, do you realize what's gone on in the last 2 months of this guy's life? His mom passes away. He goes and fights the biggest fight of his career. He gets the knockout. He was emotional. He left it all out on the line. I think you guys saw a real emotions from Jon Jones. And then all of a sudden, he's enjoying life again. He's back to being on top. He actually missed it. He likes it. He loves the sport. He loves the fans in it. And then with one announcement, it's back to the drawing board, all the way back at the bottom of the barrel. And it's tough. It's tough to watch this happen to this guy. It really is. I know that there's been a lot of mistakes, and people say, well, he made a lot of mistakes. Listen, he did, but this kid never did it. This is nothing he's done has been intentionally to harm anyone ever.
Have you read the statement from Daniel Cormier, and if so, what do you think of it?
I appreciate Daniel Cormier right now at this moment. I thought that, Daniel Cormier deep down inside has always known that Jon doesn't do steroids. I think Daniel Cormier knows that Jon doesn't need steroids to win fights. I think Daniel Cormier knows that steroids didn't help Jon win his fight. I think that Daniel is a very professional guy, and I really appreciate him right now instead of, piling on, waiting and figuring out what happened. Because in reality, the first time when he piled on, when the first time he called the pile on, he knew he was wrong then. It was clear that Jon was just being reckless, that he was not cheating. So.
And how's the sponsorship situation going? Are people, I know after the hit and run there was issues, but is everyone staying with him as of right now?
Everybody that I know of has called and reached out, especially his sponsors, and said 100% they're standing by and that they support him. I think they all, you got to think GAT Nutrition is one that would probably take the biggest hit from this. Monster being a UFC, sponsor, and they both called. The Monster guy was there with him, said there's no way that this man did it. I can tell from when he got the news. It just, unless he's the greatest actor, he needs to go to acting then, because it was just emotional. And this guy thought, like, literally it was a joke, that this could not have happened to him. He didn't believe it. And he saw that. GAT Nutrition knows how much Jon, tries to be healthy and to take care of himself. And let me say this. A lot of people say to me, well, why is he taking supplements anyway? Well, Jon Jones also trains 4 to 5 times a day. He trains more than any other fighter I have on my roster. Okay? It's not that easy to tell a guy who's working that hard constantly, don't take any supplementation. But it may just have to come to that at this point with all my clients. Just stay the hell away from all supplements. It's just not worth it anymore. This is too much risk. You know what I mean? And the reward just isn't worth it. It just doesn't make any sense. So,
to be clear, you don't know what that supplement is just yet.
I don't have no idea where this could have came from, none whatsoever. But like I said, our protocol for us in our office is to immediately collect all the samples of everything that he took from the fight backwards for that past 2 months. We will collect it all. We'll get it all, tested by our labs, and then, send it out to USADA so they can test it as well. Have their labs tested and just go through the process. And once we flag something that has something that could have caused this positive, then we'll obviously make the public aware and go from there.
And just 2 last quick things. Yesterday, Dana White said that they were considering doing Jon versus Stipe Miocic in December. Is that accurate from your point of view?
Well, we were discussing heavyweight title fight or a Gustafsson rematch. You know what I mean? The option was left to us, and I actually, coincidentally, while my brother was up there with Jon, they were discussing, who he wanted to fight and what the route we wanted to go. And we just never were able to get that back to the UFC in time because the news hit the same night my brother got back.
So what do you think happens now? What's the game plan? What's your prediction? How does it all play out?
I think that we're going to end up finding the supplement that has this stuff, and then Jon will end up getting a public one.
Okay, you're confident.
1,000%.
Malki, I really appreciate this. Thank you. I know it's been a whirlwind,
Thank
but
you.
I really appreciate you coming on, and thanks for bearing with us with the technical problems.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, there he is. Malki Kawa,
Bye.
the manager for one, Jon Jones, the CEO of First Round Management. Really appreciate him coming on, and you can hear it in his voice. He is fired up. He is certainly standing by his man. He certainly believes that Jon Jones is innocent. And again, we have been through this before as it pertains to Jon Jones, but this is the disclaimer that you always have to remember. They are innocent until proven guilty, and that's why they are provisionally suspended. I think it's very interesting that he said that TMZ came out with the news first. We know that the UFC has a very cozy relationship with TMZ. If that is in fact true, that they learned this via TMZ, how could you not have a problem with that? How could you not have a problem with that? Jon Jones, regardless of what you think about him, deserves the courtesy of getting notified first. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. Now, maybe they couldn't reach him. Maybe he was unavailable. I don't know. But Malki Kawa telling us that they found out via TMZ, that is a bit of a shocker. And so we'll see how this situation plays out. We wish them the best. And again, I urge you, just remember, innocent until proven guilty.